How's it going? It's PM Designs. So, if you watched about a year ago now, I made a video showing how I put together this little camera support. I'm gonna move this one out of the way. Um, and while this one was really handy to have with me, there was a big drawback to it. Four contact points with these 4 feet meant that on a lot of surfaces, frankly, this just wasn't stable. You get 1 foot that's, I'm trying to find something I can just use to demonstrate. Um, you get something, get that in frame. You get something underneath there, and you've got a camera platform that's just wobbling around. So that's no good. So go ahead and move that out of the way. That's the problem with that one. So I set out to designing this one that I recently put together. I did decide to pick up another set of the Platypod brand little spikes. These come in really handy. It'll allow you to kind of get this if you set this up on like some dirt or a log, a rock or something. This will get a better grip to it. Especially with that other one, I had the issue of it wouldn't be level all the time, so I would need these to level it. That's why I went, and I'm gonna go through the design of this. Basically, I decided I wanted to go a little bit smaller. The other one was 4x8, this is 4x6, and I decided I wanted to go a little bit lighter, so I went with a thinner chunk of aluminum. The reason with that, all I'm putting on here is an A6000 with either the 10 to 18 or the 18 to 200, and that combination isn't that heavy, so this size to me in the testing I've done has been plenty stable. The next consideration was, do I want with the ball head? I figured I'll just run another Manbilly M10. There's the brand for that. Run another one of their ball heads on it, which I actually pulled the ball head off that other one to throw on here. Then, because I did that, I needed to attach it, and initially I wanted to use this, but as you can see, the head isn't much wider than the threaded portion, so that wasn't really going to work. All this would have been much thinner, and it would have been the materials I already had. Decided against that and decided to put an actual bolt in there. Now, because of that, I needed to make sure that these rubber feet came out far enough and had enough height to them. As you can see next to it, I put in two little quarter 20 set screws just to lock that tripod head from being able to turn any. We're going to take a look at the top and discuss some of the layout of the holes and everything. Now, I have on basically this side, all the holes on this side are the same as the holes on this side, so I'm just going to cover the one side. Plus you have this hole, the holes for the tripod, and this large hole, which I'll talk about. Basically, I decided I wanted the 3 feet, so the spacing with these, basically took one of these feet and go ahead and pull one out. Basically, I just got it where I felt like it was set up nicely, made a little mark, covered this in masking tape so I could make marks on it easily, and I could erase them, just pencil. So I made a little mark through the center of that, and then I took it off, measured where that hole was, and I measured and marked over here the same dimensions for this hole. This one, I basically took the measurement from the back to the front and did there, and obviously just centered this one. Now, for making the positioning for this hole and the position for this hole, basically this hole's position is the same positioning and from the edge as this hole is, so just to make dimensions easy to keep track of and easy to mark out and everything. And as far as the position for this hole, I literally put this right next to it, figured out a comfortable spacing, made a mark, measured it, made the same mark on that side. These holes right here, this one, I decided how much spacing, which I used the same rule as I used for this hole here. use that same rule for up here and made these two front ones and measure their spacing from the side. This, I basically lined this up, drew a straight line across my piece of tape I had, and use that to be the furthest back because I didn't want to go, obviously, if I'm planning to pass a strap or something through these two, which will eventually be slots cut here and a slot cut on this side. Obviously, if these are back here past the ball head, a strap's just going to be going around the ball head, and that's not going to serve a purpose or anything, so I've just stopped at the front of the ball head. This large circular cutout here is really just to reduce the weight, and as a side benefit, I can attach a carabiner through it and hook it to a pack. I can hook it to a camera bag, or really anything. You know, I can use that to pass some paracord through for my safety leash that I have, that I use for the other one, which is just basically a piece of paracord with a loop in either end and a carabiner on one end, and I can basically just loop that through and use that to, you know, hook that to the wrist strap that's on the camera, hook everything together. That way everything's tethered, and if I have it on the edge of like a ledge or something, I don't have to worry about my camera falling and getting damaged. So obviously there's a few things left to do to, you know, cutting the slots in there, and cleaning up some of the rough edges around the holes and whatnot, and deciding what I want to do for a final finish on it, whether or not I want to paint it or leave it raw aluminum and do like a brushed type of finish to it. Haven't really decided yet. Obviously I haven't gotten that far because I still have metal working left to do to it, but that's basically it. As far as putting dimensions and stuff in you know, in the description or stuff like that, I'm not going to do that. You can obviously, unless you're using the same everything, you know, your dimensions are going to be different, and you may also want to design it a little bit differently. You may not want to put the rubber feet and just use the threaded spikes all the time, because you do obviously have the rubber side you have the spike on one end and a little rubber cushion on the other side, so you can just use these. It's up to you. That's why I'm just, you know, giving you some of my ideas and my thought process and how I designed and laid everything out. But as far as the details on how you want to do it, that's totally your call. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna put a link in the description, and I'm gonna fill in the stuff, you know, on my webpage, so you can see what items and stuff in case you do want to get like the same stuff, which is really just gonna be this and the plate of aluminum. All said, for materials standpoint, including these spikes, it was about $25-30 total into making this. If you don't have a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a local hardware store where you can get the screws and stuff, and you have to get them on Amazon or something, it's going to cost more, obviously. But overall, it was kind of a fun project. Actually, you know, it was a fun project, honestly. So really can't wait to get out there and use this one. You know, I've really liked having the use of this, you know, even with its little wobbly problems. But like I said, this is stable, and this is sitting over here wobbling around. So thanks for watching. As always, if you got any questions, comments, whatever, throw them in the description section or comment section. Oh yeah, throw them in the comment section if you got any questions or whatever. And thanks for watching, and have a good one.